You know, one of the reasons why most training courses are a complete waste of time is they end up being dry presentations about the topic instead of what they can be, which is a dynamic workshop on the real challenges that participants are currently facing. I mean, supposing you were being wheeled in for an operation and you said to the surgeon, "Have you done many like this before?" And they said, "Well, no, I've never done an operation before, but I've attended plenty of PowerPoint presentations on the topic." You'd run a mile. And if you were teaching people how to repair washing machines, you'd have washing machines there for them to work on. But for some reason, when it comes to core people skills, I hate the term soft skills, by the way, it's daft. Core people skills like managing, leading, negotiating, coaching, all that seems to go, and people think you just need to present PowerPoint about it. There's been many times people have come to me and said, because I had some sort of knowledge of this, come to me and said, "Me and my chum, we're thinking of putting together a training course on what we do." And it might have been some approach to sales or a consulting skills technique. And they'd say, "What advice have you got for us?" And I'd always say the same thing, which is have as little PowerPoint as possible. Quickly get onto a case study, and if possible, oh, it's fine. They said, "Don't worry about it." "Oh yeah, couldn't agree more. I hate training courses that are just PowerPoint. We are going to do a case study, and we're going to spend most of the time on, we are going to have a few slides, but they'll just be to introduce the topic right at the start." And I'd say, "Well, okay, if you really mean it, off you go." And I'd catch up with them a few weeks later, and "How's your course going?" "Oh, it's good, we're quite pleased the way our case study's coming along." "How many PowerPoint slides have you got?" "Oh, well, we do have 48 slides, but honestly, most of them are just, the signposts and we won't spend long on that." Anyway, I'll catch up with them after the course. "How did it go?" "Oh, it was all right. It's a shame we didn't have time to do the case study, though. We ended up spending all the time on the PowerPoint slides." Oh, you can go back to the last millennium. God, I'm old. In the 1990s, for example, I was running a people management course that didn't have any slides. And before you ask, yes, we did have PowerPoint in the 1990s, but I said, I'm not having any of that. No screen, no projector, nothing. I put the chairs in a circle. Someone said it looked like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. But what I did is I had a case study just on slips of paper that you could reuse. Very short brief for the team member who'd go out of the room to prepare. Very short brief for the manager, the new hire, the arrogant so-and-so, the person coming in late. And the rest of the team would help the manager prepare for their meeting. And then we'd get them in, do a bit of a role play, stop it quite quickly, give some feedback, some discussion, maybe try another approach, and so on and so forth. Dealing with real-like situations. But the real killer, it was only about a 6-hour course. After the break, I got the participants, under conditions of strict confidentiality, to write their own case studies about real challenging situations they were facing in their real work. And we'd talk about, difficult team members they were facing and ways of dealing with it. And on other courses I ran on influence skills or coaching skills, whatever, we would quickly come to addressing the participants' current challenges. And not only did that obviously help a lot more than some PowerPoint presentation, but by addressing their real current situations, we were able to help them identify potential learning barriers. And I've got another video on learning barriers, the internal barriers that would stop them feeling comfortable trying new techniques. So we were able to discuss those and find ways of dealing with them. And it wasn't unusual for me to get an email saying, "I attended your coaching skills course a few weeks ago, and as a result of that, I completely reorganized the team, reorganized the way the work's done, and it's had a complete transformation. Everyone's much happier, we're much more productive. It's been." Do your training courses get emails like that as a response? And yet, still, this is back in the 1990s, nothing's changed. I'm recording this in 2025, and I came across a company just very recently that said, "We want to transform the way people management is done in our company." Great. We don't think doing it virtual will do the job. We want to get people together in a classroom for half a day. Fantastic. My advice, don't have slides. We have got a case study, we've got a case study. So let me ask you this. A 4-hour training course, getting people together in a room, busy managers who might have to travel, 4 hours in the room. How many slides do you think they ended up with? 58 slides for a 4-hour course. About 4 minutes per slide, less once you subtract the time for people to come to the room and settle down and do introductions. I mean, of those 58, 14 were just dividers slides that had no purpose. 18 were just content information that could have been handed out or done online. There were various energizers that they were never going to have time for. 20 slides just to explain the case study. It's not that complicated. Well, I don't know how they're getting on, but I did hear that the pilot was a bit disappointing because they ended up spending all the time on the slides. Look, it's not rocket science. Scrap all your slides, okay? Get people into a room if you're going to do it, or into a virtual space. Have a prepared case study based on real situations from your organization, but very quickly move on to talk about the current challenge they're facing. And I've helped people prepare for meetings with a different client, prepare for having that awkward conversation they've had with their boss. It's so different from the dry PowerPoint. Now, I'm retired now, so if you want any help with this, very happy to help you. You'll find me on LinkedIn. Find me there, send me a message. Quite happy to have a chat with you about how you can dump this dreary PowerPoint dirge and instead really help people transform the way they work. This was a video from my channel 5MTC, which stands for 5-Minute Training Courses. Please subscribe for more and maybe find my book on Amazon.